Welcome to Embrace the Journey. Well, it's Christmas Eve. Well, Christmas Eve, probably when you see this. I remember going back all the years of all the Christmas Eves as I had when I was a kid, and but one I remember distinctly. I might have been 3 or 4. That takes it back a long ways. And this would have been in the mid-50s when trees had real tinsel and the light bulbs on trees were big. They didn't have LEDs or anything like that. Anyway, on this one Christmas Eve, the presents were set by the tree, and my mother would bring out the cookies on the plate and the glass of milk, set it by a table. But my dad came out and he said, "This year we're going to capture Santa." And he looked like a bear trap. It was plastic, but 3 or 4, it was the real thing to me. And he said, "I'll sit this on the chair where Santa has to sit when he eats the cookies and drinks the milk." So I went to bed that night. Christmas Eve was a horrible time to try to get any sleep because you're so excited. You just can't sleep, but eventually you do. And in the morning, what our parents would do is they'd make my sister and I go to the kitchen. We couldn't look into the living room. And they'd force us to eat a breakfast. And while we're sitting in the kitchen, my dad and my mom would peer into the living room and go, "Oh, look at this. Oh, look at that." Just making the excitement all the more greater for us. Finally, we got to go in, and there were the toys that were under the trees, all the good things of Christmas Day. And in that chair, in the trap, was a piece of paper. And in the trap itself was a piece of red cloth. And the letter that was on the paper said, "You almost got me this time, but I got away." And I really thought we probably almost caught Santa. I had that piece of red cloth. Boy, that one, I'll always remember that one. Silly thing to remember, but I sure remember that one. I thought today what I'm going to do, I'm going to read to you, if I turn it up right, The Night Before Christmas. This thing was written like in 1826, so some of the words probably most kids wouldn't understand, but I'm going to read through it. I'm going to put on some images and enjoy.
It was the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama, in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and threw up the sash. The moon on the ground of the new-fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wandering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver, so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his courses they came, and he whistled, and he shouted, and he called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, oh Comet, on Cupid, on Donna and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky, so up to the house, top courses they flew, with the sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then, in a twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and I was turning around, Down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur, from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished from ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry! His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed, like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know that I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew, like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, as he drove out of sight,
Merry Christmas to all.
And to all, a good night. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.